Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are coming to you from the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. It is the Policy Conference annually put on by the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we have the president of Bank of America Michigan, Matt Elliott. Matt, it's good to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's great to be here, Chris. Thank you.
Well, this is the place to be. I mean, let's be honest, and now it's kind of back to its former glory.
This is a lot of fun to be back amongst people and talking about topics that really impact our state and our businesses, and that's what we love to do. So I'm having a great time.
Well, it's so interesting to see people with their legs.
Exactly. Yeah. And now you know that people had pants on, not shorts.
That's exactly when they're talking to you.
That's right.
Ooh, hadn't thought about that. I wish I hadn't brought that up. Matt, let's talk about what's going on at Bank of America. And I know you guys have a pretty unique approach that you're going about with your customers.
You know, our strategy is what we call responsible growth, and there are a lot of pillars to that, one of which is that we have to grow sustainably. And very often what that means is what we like to call the genius of the and, which means we can deliver for our stakeholders and our shareholders, and we do. If you look at our stock price over the last 10 years, it's been great. And we can help deliver for our communities and help solve big problems. So that means things like we can help drive economic mobility in communities of color, and we can continue to help drive our businesses forward. We also need to help our businesses find a pathway to net zero over time, and we're doing that too, all the while we're supporting their economic growth.
Let's talk about net zero too, as a matter of fact. And you know what, the work you're doing is really important, and the diversity in not only our workforce but the ownership of our businesses.
Exactly, and the thing about net zero is that, you know, this is a walk that we're going to walk on together, you know, to get to that pathway. But there are a lot of things that our clients can do immediately that are what we call no regret actions. So doing things like reducing resources, reducing electricity and use of water. Those are all things that are good for, you know, the business, but they also save money. And so along the way, these ideas become self-sustaining. That's the genius of the and. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. So you're kind of not on the warpath, but you're out there beating on doors and kind of bringing that philosophy to your customer base?
You know, it's our job to bring our thinking and our resources to our clients to help them be successful over the long haul, because we can't be successful if they're not successful. One of the tenets of responsible growth is we have to share our success with our communities and our clients, and that's one of the reasons why we're here.
Well, we're glad we could give you this platform.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity.
Good business platform for you to be sharing this stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit about the number one issue facing business in the state of Michigan. That's talent.
Absolutely.
And it's not just Michigan, it's all over. But how are you guys bearing up, and how are you seeing your clientele deal with it?
You know, one of the things we've been hearing and seeing a lot more is what I'll call skills-based hiring. So a lot of job classifications, including some in our own organization, have historically been job classifications where we said you need a 4-year degree.
Right.
We've taken a fresh look at that, as have a lot of our clients, and realized, well, if you've got these specific skills, that's a great place to start. And so we do things like we have a Pathways program. We work with an organization called Year Up that recruits students from low to moderate income areas. We help drive employment in those areas, which is a real positive. But we help solve our own problem too by bringing people into our organization. They get some extra skills training, and they start at $22 an hour, which is $45,000 a year for a full year. So it's an and. We get a chance to solve our problem with respect to hiring, and our teammates from low to moderate income areas get a chance to get on the economic playing field.
I see very little changing in the future with that, hiring people to jobs and missions, as opposed to you need the 4-year degree.
You know, in the state of Michigan, we're going to lose 100,000 workers over the next few years, and so we have to replace them.
Yeah.
And if we try to use the old ways of hiring, we're not going to solve this problem. No. So we need to think bigger, think differently, and think, you know, using the power of and.
Yeah. All right, so the number two, and just snuck into number two, is the greatest problem for businesses, inflation. That's got to be absolutely affecting you and your clients.
All of our clients are wrestling with inflation and supply chain and how all those things are connected together. I have to say our client base has done a remarkable job managing their way through it. And this is one of those things where some extra planning and also some extra advice is going to go a long way. Yeah. And that's one of the things we're talking a lot about with our clients is how to overcome that, how to plan for it, and how to get ahead of it.
You know, one of the things I wanted to jump back for is when you were saying, you know, you can do this and also do this. There's a third thing there that we all have to remember. You can also make money. And you have to make money.
You know, one of the tenets of our responsible growth strategies, you have to be sustainable.
Yeah.
And in order to sustain yourself as a business, you have to be profitable, right? And so that's one of the things that's important is that, you know, capital and capitalism are what will help solve some of these big challenges, because when you can throw and you can deploy capital against a problem, then you can fix it over a long period of time. Net zero is a perfect example of that.
So, like good venture capital funds, they always wind up throwing people on boards to kind of help with the success. You do that sort of thing as well. Not throw them on boards necessarily, but you walk them through a lot of things and keep your eye on businesses.
You know, our job is to be an advisor to our clients, you know, and also we provide a lot of advice to our nonprofit partners in the communities as well, because we're lucky enough to have a research platform that gives us some really strong insights that we can apply to local issues that are happening right here in Michigan.
Yeah. Part of that inflation problem and the number 3 challenge is wage inflation in particular. How are you contending with that?
You know, what we've seen a lot of our clients, and we're doing this too, is they're helping fund that wage inflation really through automation. You know, so all these jobs end up being higher value jobs than they were in the past, and we're automating away some of these very low skill jobs, which is why we got to go back to skills-based hiring and helping people upskill and reskill. Part of our $1.25 billion commitment to economic mobility helps us do exactly that, which is upskill and reskill people so that they can participate in the economy of the future. We just made $1 million grant to the Detroit Employment Solutions Corp to help Detroiters upskill and reskill so they can go to work in manufacturing, which is what, you know, it's our #1 industry here in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Matt, it's always good to spend time with you. Matt Elliott, president of Bank of America, Michigan, and keep up your golf game, too.
I will do that. Thank you.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, coming to you from the Policy Conference on Mackinac Island. We'll be right back with more.